are back. This is Major Case Files. Today we're going to be discussing the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping. It's been a little bit over 2 weeks and they still have no clue where she is. So we're just going to go over some timeline things and some things that's going on with the case, and we're just going to discuss it. And we just pray that, that they could find Nancy safe and, she can get back to her family. So Nancy Guthrie, she's an 84-year-old mother of NBC anchor Savannah Guthrie. She disappeared from her Catalina Foothills house, which is in Tucson, Arizona, on February 1st, 2026, obviously. In a suspected kidnapping. Evidence suggests she was taken against her will after a disturbed doorbell camera and broken pacemaker connection prompting a major search. FBI involvement and ransom notes were eventually received and stuff. So what are your initial thoughts on that, Dre?
Well, this seems like a classic case of somebody was watching her. Somebody had their eye out for this lady because look at this time schedule. This looks calculated. In my estimate, it looks calculated because you see the schedule, and I'm pretty sure she was a pretty scheduled woman. She had her little rundown. Looking at this timeline is very, very, very suspect because it's like, okay, someone was probably watching her movements.
So you're talking about the timeline. We'll go over the key timeline. On January 31st at 9:48 p.m., she was last seen arriving home after dinner with the family. They ended up dropping her off. And then 1:47 a.m. on February 1st, was just a couple hours later, the doorbell camera, it disconnects. And then about, I would say 45 minutes later, 2:12 a.m., 30 minutes later, the motion detected on a home camera. So whoever was in the house looks like was probably in that house for about 30 minutes. Another 15 minutes later, the pacemaker disconnects from the app. And then on February 1st, now this is 11:56 a.m., so this is right before noon. The family checks on her and finds her missing. So now, about 5 minutes later, that's when they called the police. They're like, "Hold on, where's mom's at? She's not here. We got to call the police." Then the next day, the authorities declare the case a likely abduction, and then the day after that, they received a ransom note received by the media, and then they also found blood on the porch. And then we can go to a week later, not to a whole week later. I don't understand. This is kind of confusing to me. But a whole week later, then they finally get surveillance images of a suspects that they released the video, and we watched the video. The video seems crazy, like it's odd.
So they've been watching that video for 2 weeks?
No, they just now got the video.
They just now got the video.
Yeah.
So who had the video?
Well, it was in the Ring app the whole time, and I don't know, they weren't able to retrieve it, or maybe they just didn't release it at that time. That's kind of hard to believe because you would say if they had that video the first, second day, then look, we're going to put it out.
But they don't always release it when they have it. They don't always release it.
But listen, this is crucial that they have to release it as soon as they get it.
No, they don't always do that.
They don't always, but in this case, they must, because if they don't,
well, they didn't do it.
No, because they didn't have it. They weren't. That's what I'm saying. They
may have had it, but sometimes they don't do that. They do that because they don't have a lot of information, and they're getting desperate.
I understand.
Usually when they do that.
But listen, what I'm saying is, in this type of case, it's an 84-year-old woman. She has a pacemaker. She's kidnapped. But what I'm saying is, as soon as you put that footage out, they're going to have the confidence somebody's going to recognize that person and immediately call, and they would have,
more information.
They would have information to go investigate and go get people.
But sometimes they hold off on releasing that footage.
No, I understand that. But in a case like this, I do not think that would be a smart move, and I do not think that's what something they would do because you immediately, hey, the first could because especially if you don't have the information. If you have no evidence and you're working with nothing,
Well, he
we're gonna put this
succeeded,
out.
so therefore
Yeah, he
they're
succeeded.
scared because he succeeded. His plan worked. He got in there, he got her, and we don't know where she is at the moment. We don't
Right.
know where Nancy is at this
But
moment. So the police are shaking in their boots right now. So they have to release that footage at some time, but they probably were holding it, hoping that they could figure something out. And
I don't think honestly, if they did, that was something stupid
well, I
because
I would hope, but
no, because you would think, why would you hold that? Why would you hold something like that hostage when that and you have no evidence? Like I could see if you were working with some strong evidence and you had some things to go after, then okay. But no, you have nothing, then no, you're gonna put that
I
out to
just
the
know
media.
I don't have a reason for them holding it, but I just know sometimes that law
Yeah,
enforcement
no,
does do
oh,
that.
absolutely they do that.
That's all I'm stating.
Absolutely they
I'm
do.
not saying justifying it, but I'm just saying I know in some cases they do that, and I know in some cases
For sure.
it's a desperate move to get somebody to say, "Oh, I recognize maybe that holster or maybe that backpack."
Alright, so yeah, they figured out that the backpack the guy was wearing was only distributed and bought at Walmart. So they're gonna go there, investigate that, check receipts, check footage, see who's bought that.
Right, right, but that
And
still could be a desperate move sometimes from the law enforcement.
right, and I mean, shit, everything is desperate at this moment because they just want to, at the end of the day, they need something to try to catch, you know what I mean, or get any type
Well, they
of
want to solve this
you
because they
got
look
yeah,
bad on this one right here.
absolutely.
This looks very bad.
So, all right. So the suspect, the person in the mask, a backpack was captured on surveillance near the home, and authorities are searching for this individual. All right. So we watched that video. That video is just wild, man. There's a lot of things that catch me off guard. All right. So for one thing is that pistol and how he has it tucked in the front of him, not concealed
For
or
show.
yeah, it looked
It was
more
for
like for
show.
show,
It was
right?
for
Like
show. It was for show.
it
Nobody even carries a pistol right
I've
there.
never seen that. That looked like a 5-year-old
That's an
kid with
uncomfortable position, number one.
yeah, with like a little Woody from, the Toy Story having a
Thank
little
you.
old pistol. Like, what the? That
So
was weird to me.
that brings me still back to reason why you would release this footage is because some of the things that he had are distinct where somebody would be like, okay, I kind of know who that motherfucker is because
Exactly. Especially like,
wearing a holster like that.
and then he seemed a little too comfortable. Like, there was no urgency. There was no like, let me look around. There was no like, oh, I have to be aware.
Well,
And
he
then,
knew he had time for some reason. That's
yeah,
what let me know he had to be watching her schedule.
I agree with that. And also, like when he went and bro, the dude grabbed some plants, some bushes to try to cover the camera.
Which was now that let me know like you're
That was
probably
amateur.
a very amateur and you
That was
because
amateur
most
hour.
people would have just broke the camera. I mean, come on.
Or so just snatched it off and threw it or
You
the
could have
what?
just broke the camera.
Yeah, just
Could have
snatch
just
it off
walked
the
backwards
wall.
and broke the camera and you wouldn't even have to worry about it.
That
Nobody would
that
have
yeah,
known.
that was crazy to
They
me.
wouldn't even have
Like
seen your
this
holster,
dude
you
trying
know.
to put some look like sage over the camera or something.
He
Like
was tripping.
that was crazy.
He was
Okay, so, like we were saying, so I guess he ends up taking her. They do find blood. They find blood on the porch and on the driveway, and it does end up to be in her blood. So he did something, physically abused her or hit
he
her.
got violent.
It
He
got
got violent.
violent
He
somewhere.
got violent. And we know what that means. She put up a fight.
Think
I
so.
think the old woman
Good
put up
for her.
a fight,
For
and
her.
I hope she left some evidence on his ass. So when it is time to get him and put him behind them things, I hope she left some evidence because, and I hope she's still alive. I'm praying that she comes back to her family in good health. But with this weirdo, we don't know he might be doing because look how he came already.
Right. No.
So
and the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Office, they're treating the case as a kidnapping. There is I think it started off at 50, but now there's $100,000 reward being offered.
Okay.
And the daughter Savannah and her siblings, they've released like a few videos I've seen and everything, pleading for the whoever has her, please just to release her, give her back.
Right.
If you want money, whatever it is, like we'll pay you. You know what I mean? Just give us our mom back. That's all they want. And you know what, dude? There was a guy out of LA who sent the meat, or somebody they found, he sent the family um some type of ransom note trying to get some, Bitcoin out of this, and he was arrested and took to jail for this, and what a fucking idiot.
Fake ransom?
Yes, bro.
A
Just
fake ransom.
he tried to capitalize off the
Now we've hit an
situation.
all-time low. We've hit an
Like, come
all-time
like,
low
you
when
don't
people are
think you're
doing
gonna
that.
get come on, bro. Like, we gotta be
Really,
smarter than that, my guy.
an all-time low.
That was crazy. Um So, oh yeah, and they also detained, I want to say like two people, but I know they detained this one Uber driver, and they went and, did a whole raid and searched his mom's house and everything. And of course, he had nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? He was dropping somebody off in the area or whatever it may have been.
See, and that
And
brings me back to my point. The police didn't have nothing. They're just reaching.
yeah, they have
They
nothing,
out there
bro. They don't
reaching.
know where this lady is.
They
That
out there
that's the
reaching.
scary part.
So this guy, that's why I said this wasn't random.
I don't think it was random
I
either.
don't think it
I
was
don't, man,
random.
because the
I don't.
person just seems
I don't.
too
And they weren't
familiar.
worried about time.
They weren't urgent at all. Like, I don't know what it was, but that video, it said, it doesn't say much, but it says a
It
whole
was
lot.
loud.
It says a whole lot.
It said to me,
Like,
looking at it through my lens, this is just what I take. This is my take. Y'all can don't get mad at me for this. But it took to me as this was somebody that may have probably been in that house before
that's what I mean.
and said, I'm about to put on a show real
Or
quick.
or it's somebody that's very familiar.
Very.
Very familiar, has to be.
And
I mean,
this wasn't
or
um
somebody on the inside, a family
right.
member or somebody that works on the
And the
around there
way
that
you
gave
cover
them a lot of information.
And the way they
Man,
covered themselves up let me know, like, you made sure that you didn't want nobody to know who it was because you're probably tied to this family, these people. They probably know you. And because the length you went to cover yourself up, but yet still let me know you were still kind of doing a rookie job
that's what I was
because
gonna say too. Yeah, they
Mhm.
did cover up. I mean, they had the thick leather gloves, they had the ski mask totally
But it
covering
looked like a rookie
everything.
job to me. Like,
But at the same time, the whole plants on the camera, the whole pistol on the front
yeah,
belt loop, like
yeah.
hanging
You've
out
been watching too many
like a old
westerns or
little
something.
web. Like, what the?
Yeah.
Who does that? What the? And that's what kind of tells me, like,
Hmm.
it just like, damn, was it something? Like, it kind of like gives you it pulls you, like, was it was it an amateur, or was it somebody that was, you know what I'm saying, that knew what they, because like you said, they executed it, they got the job done, and it's been 2 weeks and they have nothing.
So you would think
So you know what I'm saying? It looks professional.
my plan worked,
It
which
looks
means
professional.
that's why I say it wasn't random because look at this. You have nothing. Only thing you have is that little video evidence. And if you really can't dissect that video evidence like how we're dissecting it, evidently the police didn't, is because looking at that right there, that's somebody that knew that layout, that
Right.
knew what they were going to do, and they were probably connected to this person because this person had a schedule and they were right on that schedule.
Yeah,
And
they were.
bam, they got away with it, minimal blood, and they walked out of there. And they should be on that car. They should be on more surveillance around the neighborhood. I'm telling you, this man had to stop and get gas something body in that get up, somebody had to see this dude.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't understand. But there is new evidence, a glove containing DNA evidence, that was recovered roughly about 2 miles from the Nancy Guthrie's home appears consistent with the glove worn by a person seen in a doorbell camera, obviously the video that we seen,
But what kind of gloves
uh,
was those at?
from the morning she disappeared, according to a source. Those were some thick ass leather. It wasn't no little
That's
regular
what I'm
little, them was
saying.
some JC Penney
Everything
special
he had stuck out.
winter thick ones.
Like he was just getting all the little stuff from whatever he had to cover up with, like it
They
was
they probably
a winter
obviously,
night.
they were probably from Walmart, where he
All
bought
the whole
where
get up, huh?
so if you go to
Probably got
Walmart, if there's somebody whoever bought that backpack and those gloves together, that's your guy.
and I hate to say it, but what it looked like is he went and bought some ski gear.
Some ski gear, huh? He tried
That's
with
what
the
it kinda
ski
looks
mask,
like.
backpack, glove, like he's
The
about to go on
jacket,
ski
the
shit,
ski mask, the backpack,
right?
the gloves, probably bought it all at once to make it look like, "Oh, I'm going skiing." 'Cause that's what it kinda gave me, like, okay, this dude probably got all this at once, built up the courage to finally do it, and went and bought his little get up, and there it is.
Right.
But he's been planning this, cause I don't think this was random. He's been planning this.
No, so like the suspect details so far, what they're saying is that probably somebody that's 5'9" or 5 feet 10, wearing black, 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker backpack. That was the backpack that he got from
Ozark.
Walmart.
Okay.
And he was also obviously tampering with that doorbell. And like I said, the reward was 50,000, but it jumped up to 100,000. You know, they're really trying to figure out who this person is. Somebody has to know who this person is.
Oh, it's gonna come out, it's gonna come out.
You know, hopefully it comes out sooner than later and they find this lady alive. I mean, that's what we're hoping for. You know what I mean? We don't,
And by them putting out that tape, that's exactly what it's doing. By you putting out that footage,
right.
that's exactly what it's doing right
But it's
now.
been a week. It's been a week since that footage has come out,
Right.
and they
So,
still don't have.
well, I mean, it takes some time sometimes, cause it wasn't like it was just a face. He was covered up, and, somebody's gonna say something and see
Well, we
something,
sure hope so.
cause that was a pretty outrageous look. So, I mean, somebody's gotta be like, "Wait a minute, I recognize something from here,"
Yeah,
or
and that,
one of
like
these
we
Walmart
said, it
people gonna be
was.
like, "Damn, man, wait a minute, I sold somebody that looks, that outfit."
And was he amateur or was he professional? I mean, that's the
Definitely,
question.
it was a
That's the
mix of both.
question.
It felt like a
Or
mix
is
of
he
both.
so professional he made it look
Looked like he was
amateur?
an amateur, could be.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, that's
It
that's
it
the thing
wasn't a
that I'm
bad,
sure the FBI is thinking about and people are thinking about, like, where
'cause
is this lady at? You know, she's somewhere.
'cause he pulled it off, so
He got, he did pull
and
it
they
off,
still don't know where she's at, which is, man,
and they don't know where he's at. And like we said,
this is
we
sad.
hope they get her. And we'll conclude with that. And this is Major Case Files. This is episode 9. This is the case of Nancy Guthrie, 84-year-old woman that disappeared a little bit over 2 weeks ago. And like we said, we hope and pray that her family can find their mother, get their mother back.
Dre,
And I'm Half. And tune in. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and definitely comment, interact with us. Because if you talk, we talk back.
and we out of here.